Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Shafi, and I'm your host for today's lesson. If you are new here, let me tell you a little about this channel. We regularly upload English learning videos to help you improve your English step by step and reach a higher level faster. In today's episode, you are going to do more than just listen to English. You will improve your listening skills, learn advanced vocabulary, and build better fluency at the same time. This lesson is designed as a complete C1 Advanced Vocabulary Masterclass, especially for learners who want to speak English more confidently and naturally. In this lesson, we will learn powerful and precise English words. You will see how these words are used in real daily life situations, and you will hear natural expressions that native and advanced speakers use every day. These words will help you sound more fluent, more confident, and more professional when you speak English. Advanced vocabulary is very important at the C1 level. Whether you are speaking at work, studying at a university, giving a presentation, or simply chatting with friends, strong vocabulary helps you express your thoughts clearly and naturally. It also helps you sound more persuasive and more educated when you speak. By the end of this video, you will understand how to use advanced words in real situations. You will also practice these words with me so you can start using them immediately in your daily conversations. Before we begin, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want more English learning videos like this. Now, grab a pen and some paper, relax, and let's get started. Hello again, my friends. Now that we are ready, let's begin building your C1 advanced vocabulary step by step. To reach the C1 level, you don't just need difficult or fancy words, you need practical words, words that you can actually use in everyday conversations, in your studies, and in professional situations. Today, I will help you not only learn these words, but also practice them with me. When you practice regularly, these words stay in your memory and slowly become a natural part of the way you speak English. Let's start with a simple idea. At the C1 level, you don't want to speak in a very basic way. For example, instead of saying, "I'm happy," you can say, "I'm delighted." Instead of saying, "It's very big," you can say, "It's enormous." These words make your English sound richer, clearer, and more expressive. However, advanced vocabulary is not just about using fancy words. It's about choosing the right word for the right situation, the word that best expresses your exact meaning. Let's look at an example. Imagine you had a long and difficult day at work, and a friend asks you, "How are you feeling?" A beginner might say, "I'm tired," but at a C1 level, you could say, "I'm exhausted," or even, "I'm drained." These words show that you have very little energy left. Now practice with me. Repeat slowly. I'm exhausted. I'm drained. I'm worn out. Good job. Can you hear how much stronger and clearer these words sound compared to just saying tired? Now let's practice with real-life situations. Imagine you are walking home after carrying very heavy grocery bags. You say, "I feel exhausted." Repeat with me. I feel exhausted. Next, imagine you stayed up all night studying or watching movies. In the morning, you wake up and say, "I'm completely drained." Repeat after me. I'm completely drained. These exercises are not only about learning words, they help you build the habit of using advanced vocabulary naturally in your daily life. Another very important area for C1 vocabulary is emotions. In daily conversations, many people say simple sentences like, "I'm sad" or "I'm angry." But at an advanced level, you can be more precise. For deep sadness, you can say, I'm devastated. For annoyance mixed with disappointment, you can say, I'm frustrated. For very strong anger, you can say, I'm furious. Let's practice together. Repeat with me. I'm devastated. I'm frustrated. I'm furious. Excellent. Now imagine this situation. You studied very hard for an important exam, but you didn't pass. You could say, I'm devastated. Practice with me. I'm devastated. Next situation, your computer suddenly stops working right before an important presentation. You could say, I'm frustrated. Say it now. I'm frustrated. Finally, imagine someone cuts in front of you while you are waiting in a long line at the bank. You could say, I'm furious. Repeat with me. I'm furious. When you use these words, you sound more accurate and more natural. This is exactly how a C1 level English speaker sounds. Now let's do another practice activity. I will say a simple word and you try to replace it with a stronger, more advanced word. The word is happy. What advanced word can you use? Yes, joyful, thrilled, or ecstatic. Now repeat these sentences with me. I'm thrilled to see you. She was ecstatic about her new job. They were joyful after hearing the good news. Great work! Now let's reverse the activity. I will say an advanced word and you think of the simple meaning in your head. If I say enormous, you think very big. If I say furious, you think very angry. If I say delighted, you think very happy. This kind of practice helps you understand and remember advanced vocabulary much faster. Keep practicing like this every day, and slowly these words will become a natural part of your English speaking. When you think very happy, this back and forth practice helps your brain connect words more easily. It strengthens your memory and helps you recall the right word quickly when you are speaking in real conversations. At the C1 level, it is also very important to understand small differences in meaning between words. These small differences help you sound more natural and more advanced. For example, the word interesting is very common and basic, but at an advanced level, you can choose more precise words. You can say fascinating when something fully captures your attention and you cannot stop thinking about it. You can say intriguing when something makes you curious and interested, but also a little confused or mysterious. Let's practice these together. Repeat after me. That movie was fascinating. This book is intriguing. Good. Can you feel the difference in meaning? Now imagine you are reading a mystery novel and the story keeps surprising you again and again. You say, the story is intriguing. Repeat with me. The story is intriguing. Next, imagine you are visiting a museum and you see a painting that you cannot stop looking at. You feel deeply interested and impressed. You say, the painting is fascinating. Repeat after me. The painting is fascinating. Using words like these shows that you have moved beyond basic vocabulary. It shows that you can add depth and detail to your English. At the advanced level, vocabulary also helps you describe situations in a more accurate and specific way. Let's take the word important. Many learners use this word again and again, but at the C1 level, you have many better choices. You can say crucial when something is absolutely necessary. You can say significant when something has a strong impact or influence. You can say vital when something is essential for life, success, or survival. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. This meeting is crucial. Her research is significant. Water is vital for life. Excellent. Now imagine you are at work and your boss asks why a deadline must not be missed. You could say, it is crucial that we finish this project on time. Repeat with me. It is crucial that we finish this project on time. Next, imagine you are talking about history. You might say, this was a significant moment in the country's development. Practice it now. This was a significant moment in the country's development. Finally, imagine you are teaching children. You could say, healthy food is vital for your growth. Repeat it. Healthy food is vital for your growth. Can you see how these words help you speak more clearly and precisely? Another area where advanced vocabulary is very useful is when we talk about change. At a basic level, we use the word change all the time, but at an advanced level, you can choose better words. You can say transform when something changes completely. You can say evolve when something changes slowly over time. You can say adapt when someone or something changes to fit a new situation. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Technology has transformed our lives. Language continues to evolve. We must adapt to new environments. Very good. Now, let's use these words in daily life situations. Imagine you buy a new phone and it makes your daily routine much easier. You can say, this phone has transformed the way I work. Repeat it. This phone has transformed the way I work. Now, imagine your English is improving little by little every day. You can say, my English is evolving every day. Repeat after me. My English is evolving every day. And if you move to a new country, you might say, I need to adapt to the culture here. Practice it now. I need to adapt to the culture here. At the C1 level, vocabulary is also about nuance, which means small differences in meaning. Let's compare the words look, stare, and glance. At a basic level, you might say look, but stare means to look at something for a long time, often with strong focus. Glance means to look quickly for a short moment. Let's practice. Repeat after me. He stared at the painting for hours. She glanced at her phone and smiled. They looked out of the window together. Good. Now imagine these scenes. You are in a park and you see a child looking at ducks in the pond for a long time. Repeat with me. The child stared at the ducks in the pond. Next, imagine you check the time quickly before leaving your house. You say, I glanced at the clock. Repeat it. I glanced at the clock. Finally, imagine you are sitting in a cafe, drinking coffee and watching the street outside. You say, I looked out at the street. Say it with me. I looked out at the street. Practicing these small differences makes your English more vivid and expressive. Now let's explore some advanced connectors. At a basic level, we often use because to give reasons, but at the C1 level, you can also say due to, owing to, or as a result of. Let's practice together. The flight was delayed due to bad weather. Repeat with me. The flight was delayed due to bad weather. Owing to her hard work, she passed the exam. Say it now. Owing to her hard work, she passed the exam. As a result of the accident, the road was closed. Repeat after me. As a result of the accident, the road was closed. Now imagine this situation. You were late because of traffic. Instead of saying, I was late because of traffic, you can say, I was late due to heavy traffic. This is how advanced vocabulary helps you sound more natural, fluent, and confident at the C1 level. Practice it with me. I was late due to heavy traffic. Now imagine you are explaining why a team won a match. You can say, owing to their preparation, the team won easily. Repeat it now. Owing to their preparation, the team won easily. These connectors give your English a more academic and professional sound, which is very helpful at the C1 level. Another area where learners benefit greatly from advanced vocabulary is describing people's behavior. For example, instead of saying someone is nice, you can say they are considerate, meaning they think about other people's feelings. Instead of saying someone is mean, you can say they are spiteful, which means they intentionally try to hurt others. Instead of saying someone is lazy, you can say idle or sluggish, depending on the situation. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. She is very considerate of others. He was spiteful after losing the game. I felt sluggish after eating too much food. Great job! Now imagine your friend always thinks about other people before thinking about themselves. You can say, she is very considerate of others. Repeat that with me. She is very considerate of others. Next, imagine someone says something hurtful on purpose. You could say, he was spiteful when he made that comment. Practice it now. He was spiteful when he made that comment. Finally, imagine you ate a very big holiday meal and now you feel slow and tired. You can say, I felt sluggish after eating so much food. Say it with me. I felt sluggish after eating so much food. These words do more than describe actions. They also carry emotion and detail, which makes your English sound more advanced and natural. At this stage, it is also important to learn how advanced vocabulary helps you describe time more accurately. At a basic level, we often say soon, later, or a long time. But at the C1 level, you can use richer expressions. You can say imminent when something is about to happen very soon. You can say forthcoming when something is expected to happen in the near future. You can say prolonged when something lasts longer than expected. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The storm is imminent. We had a forthcoming meeting. The illness caused a prolonged absence. Good. Now imagine you are waiting for an important phone call. Instead of saying the call is coming soon, you can say the call is imminent. Practice with me. The call is imminent. Next, imagine your teacher is talking about an exam. You can say, the exam is forthcoming. Repeat it. The exam is forthcoming. Finally, imagine a very long winter. Instead of saying, the winter was very long, you can say, it was a prolonged winter. Repeat after me. It was a prolonged winter. These words add subtle meaning and help you sound more professional. Another powerful way to improve your vocabulary is learning how to talk about success and failure more clearly. Instead of only saying success, you can say achievement or accomplishment. Instead of saying failure, you can say setback or downfall, depending on the situation. Let's practice together. Winning the award was her greatest achievement. Repeat it now. Winning the award was her greatest achievement. Finishing the marathon was a huge accomplishment. Say it with me. Finishing the marathon was a huge accomplishment. The team faced a major setback during the project. Repeat after me. The team faced a major setback during the project. Good. Now imagine you passed a very difficult exam after months of hard study. You could proudly say, this is my greatest accomplishment. Repeat with me. This is my greatest accomplishment. Next, imagine you planned something carefully, but it did not go as expected. You could say, we experienced a setback, but we will try again. Practice it now. We experienced a setback, but we will try again. And if a company slowly loses power, money, or reputation, you might hear someone say, the company's downfall came after years of poor management. Repeat it with me. The company's downfall came after years of poor management. Using these advanced words shows both precision and confidence. Now let's explore another useful group of words that describe movement. At a basic level, we often say walk, run, or move, but at an advanced level, you can be much more descriptive. You can say stroll when walking slowly and in a relaxed way. You can say dash when running quickly for a short distance. You can say wander when walking without a clear plan or direction. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. They strolled along the beach at sunset. He dashed to catch the bus. She wandered through the old streets. Excellent. Now imagine you are on vacation, walking calmly by the sea. You can say, "We strolled along the beach." Repeat after me. We strolled along the beach. Next, imagine you are late for work and moving very fast. You could say, "I dashed into the office." Say it with me. I dashed into the office. Finally, imagine you are in a new city, walking around without an app and just exploring. You could say, "I wandered around the city center." Practice it now. I wandered around the city center. These words give much more detail and feeling than simply saying walk or run, and they help your English sound more vivid and advanced. Now let's move on to another important group of advanced words for giving opinions. At the basic level, people often say, "I think," but at the C1 level, you have many more natural options. You can say, "I believe," when you are confident about your opinion. You can say, "I suppose," when you are not completely sure. You can say, "I assume," when you expect something to be true, and in informal conversations, you can say, "I reckon." Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I believe this is the best solution. I suppose we could try a different method. Now imagine a meeting at work. Instead of saying, "I think this will work," you can say, "I believe this is the best solution." Practice it with me. I believe this is the best solution. Now imagine you are talking with friends. Instead of saying, "I think he's coming later," you can say, "I suppose he's coming later." Repeat after me. I suppose he's coming later. And if you are making a casual guess, you can say, "I reckon it's going to rain." Practice that now. I reckon it's going to rain. Using these alternatives makes your English sound more flexible, natural, and confident. At the C1 level, it is also useful to describe possibility and certainty more accurately. At a basic level, we often say, "It's possible," but at an advanced level, you can be more precise. You can say, "It's likely," when something has a high chance of happening. You can say, "It's improbable," when something is unlikely to happen. You can say, "It's inevitable," when something will definitely happen. Let's practice these in sentences. Repeat after me. It's likely that she will win the competition. It's improbable that they will arrive on time with this traffic. It's inevitable that technology will continue to develop. Excellent. Now imagine you are giving advice to a friend about a job application. You could say, "It's likely you will get the job because you are very qualified." Repeat with me. It's likely you will get the job because you are very qualified. Now imagine you are waiting for someone who is already late. You might say, "It's improbable that he will arrive on time now." Practice it. It's improbable that he will arrive on time now. And when talking about the future, you might say, "It's inevitable that we will face challenges." Say it with me. It's inevitable that we will face challenges. These expressions help you show different levels of certainty, which is a key skill at the C1 level. Now let's move on to vocabulary for describing communication. At the basic level, people often use say or tell, but at an advanced level, you can choose more specific verbs. You can use declare for official or strong statements. You can use announce for sharing information publicly. You can confess when admitting something, often a mistake, and you can reveal when sharing something that was hidden or secret. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The president declared a new policy. The teacher announced the results. He confessed to making a mistake. She revealed her secret to her best friend. Excellent. Now imagine a work situation. Your manager shares good news with the team. Instead of saying, "She told us the good news," you can say, "She announced the good news." Repeat after me. She announced the good news. Now imagine someone finally admits they were wrong. Instead of saying, "He said he was wrong," you can say, "He confessed his mistake." Say it with me. He confessed his mistake. These small changes make your English richer and more accurate. Now let's look at vocabulary for describing sounds. At a basic level, people say loud or quiet. But at the C1 level, you can be much more descriptive. You can say deafening when something is extremely loud. You can say faint when a sound is very soft. You can say echoing when a sound reflects in a large space. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The music was deafening. I heard a faint whisper. Her voice was echoing through the hall. Very good. Now imagine you are at a concert with powerful speakers. Instead of saying the music was very loud, you can say the music was deafening. Repeat it. The music was deafening. Now imagine someone speaks very softly. You can say, I heard a faint whisper. Repeat after me. I heard a faint whisper. And imagine you are walking in a big, empty building. You can say, my footsteps were echoing in the hallway. Practice it now. My footsteps were echoing in the hallway. Can you hear how these words create clearer pictures in the listener's mind? Now let's focus on vocabulary connected to thinking and learning. At a basic level, people often use think, know, and learn. At an advanced level, you can be more specific. You can use analyze when you study something carefully. You can use comprehend when you fully understand something. You can use acquire when you gain new knowledge or skills. Let's practice these in sentences. Repeat after me. We need to analyze the data carefully. I finally comprehended the meaning of the story. Children acquire language naturally. Excellent. Now imagine a school or work project. Instead of saying we studied the data, you can say we analyzed the data. Practice it with me. We analyzed the data. After reading a difficult article, you might proudly say, I comprehended the article at last. Say it with me. I comprehended the article at last. And when talking about learning new abilities, you could say, he acquired new skills after months of training. Repeat it. He acquired new skills after months of training. By using verbs like comprehend and acquire, you sound not only more advanced, but also more precise. Now let's practice vocabulary for describing the weather, which is a very common topic in daily conversation. Beginners often say it's hot or it's cold, but at the C1 level, you can use more expressive words. You can say scorching when it is extremely hot. You can say freezing when it is extremely cold. You can say breezy when there is a light and pleasant wind. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. It's scorching outside today. The water is freezing in winter. It's breezy on the beach this morning. Excellent. Now imagine you step outside on a summer day and the sun feels very strong. Instead of saying it's very hot, you can say it's scorching outside. Repeat with me. It's scorching outside. Next, imagine touching ice-cold water. Instead of saying it's very cold, you can say it's freezing. Repeat after me. It's freezing. And if you are walking along the seaside with a gentle wind, you can say it's breezy at the beach today. Practice that now. It's breezy at the beach today. These descriptive words make your small talk about the weather more natural and interesting. Now let's look at advanced vocabulary for describing decisions. At a basic level, people often say choose or decide, but at the C1 level, you can use stronger alternatives. You can use determine when a decision is firm. You can use resolve when you make a serious promise to yourself. You can use settle on when you finally agree after discussion. Let's practice them in sentences. Repeat after me. They determined to continue their journey. She resolved to study harder this year. We finally settled on a plan. Very good. Now imagine a family discussing where to go for dinner. Instead of saying we chose the restaurant, you can say we settled on a restaurant after much discussion. Repeat it. We settled on a restaurant after much discussion. Now imagine someone promising to change their behavior. You can say, she resolved to be more patient. Say it with me. She resolved to be more patient. These advanced verbs add sophistication to your everyday English. Now let's move on to vocabulary for describing surprise and excitement. At a basic level, people say surprised or shocked, but at the C1 level, you can be more expressive. You can say astonished when you are very surprised. You can say amazed when something impresses you greatly. You can say startled when something surprises you suddenly. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I was astonished by her progress. They were amazed by the view. He was startled by the sudden noise. Excellent. Now, imagine visiting a friend who has improved their English very quickly. Instead of saying, I was surprised by her progress, you can say, I was astonished by her progress. Repeat after me. I was astonished by her progress. Now, imagine traveling to the mountains and seeing a beautiful view. You can say, we were amazed by the scenery. Practice it now. We were amazed by the scenery. And imagine hearing a loud noise at night. You might say, I was startled by the sudden noise. Repeat with me. I was startled by the sudden noise. These words help you sound more emotional, expressive, and advanced. Now let's practice advanced vocabulary for describing food, because food is something we talk about every day. At a basic level, people often say tasty or delicious, but at the C1 level, you can use richer words. You can say scrumptious when food tastes extremely good. You can say mouth-watering when food smells or looks so good that it makes you hungry. You can say appetizing when food looks attractive and appealing. Let's practice in sentences. Repeat after me. The cake was scrumptious. The aroma of the pizza was mouth-watering. The salad looked appetizing. Very good. Now imagine you are at a birthday party eating chocolate cake. Instead of saying it was very tasty, you can say the cake was scrumptious. Repeat it. The cake was scrumptious. Now, imagine walking past a bakery and smelling fresh bread. You could say, the bread smelled mouth-watering. Practice it. The bread smelled mouth-watering. And when you see a colorful plate of food, you can say, the dish looked appetizing. Repeat with me. The dish looked appetizing. Using these words makes conversations about food more vivid and enjoyable. Finally, let's practice vocabulary for describing speed and energy. At a basic level, we say fast or slow, but at the C1 level, you can be more precise. You can say rapid when something happens very quickly. You can say swift when something is quick and smooth. You can say sluggish when something slows down or lacks energy. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The progress was rapid. The response was swift. I felt sluggish after the long flight. Imagine you are working on a project and you finish it very quickly. You could say, the progress was rapid. Repeat after me. The progress was rapid. Now imagine you send a message and receive an immediate reply. You could say, the response was swift. Practice it with me. The response was swift. And if you feel extremely tired after a long journey, you might say, I felt sluggish all day after the flight. Say it with me. I felt sluggish all day after the flight. These words give you more accuracy and control in daily communication. Another powerful area of advanced vocabulary is describing intelligence and creativity. At a basic level, we often say smart or clever, but at the C1 level, you can use stronger and more expressive words. You can say brilliant for someone with exceptional intelligence. You can say ingenious for someone with very creative ideas. You can say resourceful for someone who finds smart solutions in difficult situations. Let's try them in sentences. Repeat after me. She is a brilliant scientist. His solution to the problem was ingenious. They were resourceful during the crisis. Excellent. Now, imagine a student who always performs at the top of the class. You could say, she is brilliant in her studies. Repeat it with me. She is brilliant in her studies. Now, imagine someone fixing a broken machine using a creative idea. You could say, his idea was ingenious. Say it now. His idea was ingenious. And if a group of people survives a difficult situation by thinking smartly, you might say, they were resourceful. Practice it. They were resourceful. Using these words helps you sound more advanced when describing or complimenting people. Now let's practice vocabulary for describing places and atmosphere. Beginners often say nice, beautiful, or bad, but at the C1 level, you can be more descriptive. You can say majestic for something grand and impressive. You can say picturesque for something charming, like a picture. You can say gloomy for something dark, sad, or depressing. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The mountains were majestic. The village was picturesque. The weather was gloomy all week. Great! Now imagine traveling in the Alps and seeing snow-covered peaks. Instead of saying the mountains are beautiful, you can say the mountains are majestic. Repeat it. The mountains are majestic. Now imagine visiting a small village with old houses and flowers in the streets. You could say the village was picturesque. Say it with me. The village was picturesque. And imagine a rainy, cloudy week. You might say, the weather was gloomy. Repeat after me. The weather was gloomy. This kind of vocabulary helps you describe the world with more style and precision. Now let's expand your vocabulary for describing moods and atmosphere. At a basic level, people often say happy or sad, but at the C1 level, you can express emotions more clearly. You can say cheerful for someone who is happily positive. You can say melancholy for a gentle, thoughtful sadness. You can say optimistic for someone who expects good things in the future. Let's practice these in sentences. Repeat after me. She seemed cheerful after the exam. The music had a melancholy tone. I'm optimistic about the future. Excellent. Now, imagine your friend just received good news and is smiling. Instead of saying she is happy, you can say she is cheerful today. Repeat it with me. She is cheerful today. Now imagine listening to a slow and sad song. Instead of saying the song is sad, you can say the music has a melancholy tone. Practice it now. The music has a melancholy tone. And if someone asks you about your plans, you might say, I'm optimistic about my future career. Repeat it with me. I'm optimistic about my future career. These words help you express different shades of emotion. Now, let's talk about advanced vocabulary for work and effort. At a basic level, people often say hard work, but at the C1 level, you can be more precise. You can say diligence to describe careful and consistent effort. You can say perseverance to describe continuing despite difficulties. You can say commitment to describe strong dedication. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Her diligence earned her a promotion. Perseverance is the key to success. He showed commitment to his goals. Very good. Now imagine a student who studies carefully every day. You could say, her diligence impressed the teacher. Repeat it with me. Her diligence impressed the teacher. Now imagine an athlete who keeps training even when it is difficult. You could say, his perseverance brought him victory. Say it now. His perseverance brought him victory. And in a workplace, you might say, she demonstrated commitment to the project. Practice it. She demonstrated commitment to the project. These advanced words are very useful in professional, academic, and personal conversations. Now, let's continue by learning advanced vocabulary for describing problems and difficulties. At a basic level, people often say difficulty or problem, but at the C1 level, you can use more precise words like obstacle challenge, and complication. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. They faced many obstacles on the journey. Learning English is a challenge, but it's rewarding. The plan had a serious complication. Excellent. Now imagine you are hiking in the mountains. Instead of saying, "We had some problems on the trip," you can say, "We faced many obstacles on the journey." Repeat after me. We faced many obstacles on the journey. Now picture yourself studying English every day. Instead of saying, "It's difficult," you can say, "It's a challenge, but it's rewarding." Practice it now. It's a challenge, but it's rewarding. And if your plan is delayed because of an unexpected issue, you might say, "There was a complication in the plan." Say it with me. There was a complication in the plan. Using these words makes your English sound more advanced, clear, and professional. Now, let's move on to advanced vocabulary for growth and progress. Beginners often use words like grow or improve, but at the C1 level, you can use stronger words such as flourish, advance, and progress. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The company continues to flourish. He advanced quickly in his career. Her English is progressing very well. Great. Now imagine a garden full of flowers in spring. Instead of saying the plants grew, you can say the plants flourished in the sunshine. Repeat it with me. The plants flourished in the sunshine. Now imagine someone receiving promotions at work. You could say, he advanced quickly in his career. Say it now. He advanced quickly in his career. And when you notice your English skills improving every day, you can say, my English is progressing every day. Practice it now. My English is progressing every day. These words make your speech sound natural, confident, and advanced. Now, let's explore vocabulary for arguments and disagreements. At a basic level, people often say fight or disagree, but at the C1 level, you can use words like quarrel, clash, and conflict. Let's practice them in sentences. Repeat after me. The neighbors had a quarrel over the noise. The two politicians clashed during the debate. There was a conflict between the two teams. Excellent. Now imagine two siblings arguing loudly at home. Instead of saying they had a fight, you can say they had a quarrel. Repeat after me. They had a quarrel. Now picture a heated political debate on television. You could say they clashed during the debate. Say it with me. They clashed during the debate. And in the workplace, when two teams cannot agree on a plan, you might say there was a conflict between the teams. Repeat it now. There was a conflict between the teams. Using these words makes your English sound polished and professional. Now, let's practice advanced vocabulary for describing personalities. At a basic level, people often say kind, rude, or funny, but at the C1 level, you can be more specific with words like generous, arrogant, and witty. Let's use them in sentences. Repeat after me. She is generous with her time and money. He sounded arrogant when he refused to listen. The comedian was witty and made everyone laugh. Excellent. Now imagine a friend who always helps others. Instead of saying she is kind, you can say she is generous with her time. Repeat it with me. She is generous with her time. Now imagine someone who thinks too highly of themselves. Instead of saying he is rude, you could say he is arrogant. Practice it now. He is arrogant. And if you hear clever jokes that make people laugh, you could say the speaker was witty. Say it with me. The speaker was witty. These words help you describe personality traits with greater accuracy. Now, let's move to advanced vocabulary for continuing or stopping actions. Instead of saying continue, you can say persist or endure. Instead of saying stop, you can say cease. Let's practice them in sentences. Repeat after me. She persisted in her studies despite difficulties. The tradition has endured for centuries. The noise suddenly ceased. Very good. Now imagine a student who studies every night even though it is difficult. You could say, she persisted in her studies despite difficulties. Repeat it now. She persisted in her studies despite difficulties. And imagine a cultural tradition passed down for hundreds of years. You could say, the tradition has endured for centuries. Practice it with me. The tradition has endured for centuries. These expressions will help your English sound clear, mature, and fluent. If you want, I can continue the lesson, shorten it for a YouTube script, or add pauses and timing for voice recording. Finally, when a sound or activity suddenly stops, you can say, the noise suddenly ceased. Say it with me. The noise suddenly ceased. These expressions are very common in formal English and clearly show strong C1 level vocabulary. Now, let's move on to vocabulary for describing fear and nervousness. At a basic level, people often say afraid or scared, but at the C1 level, you can use more precise words such as anxious, apprehensive, and terrified. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. She felt anxious before the interview. He was apprehensive about moving to a new country. The child was terrified of the dark. Excellent. Now imagine you are waiting for important exam results. Instead of saying, I was scared, you can say, I was anxious about the results. Repeat it with me. I was anxious about the results. Now, imagine you are thinking about changing your job, but you are unsure. You could say, I felt apprehensive about the move. Say it with me. I felt apprehensive about the move. And picture a young child alone in a dark room. You could say, he was terrified of the dark. Repeat it now. He was terrified of the dark. Using these words helps you express emotions with accuracy, depth, and confidence. Now, let's look at advanced vocabulary for money and spending. Beginners often say cheap or expensive, but at the C1 level, you can use words like affordable, costly, and extravagant. Let's use them in sentences. Repeat after me. The house is affordable for young families.
The mistake was costly for the company. The wedding was an extravagant celebration. Very good. Now imagine buying a phone that is reasonably priced. Instead of saying it's cheap, you can say it's affordable. Repeat it with me. It's affordable. Now imagine a small error that causes serious financial loss. Instead of saying the mistake was expensive, you can say the mistake was costly. Practice it now. The mistake was costly. And if someone spends far too much money on luxury, you might say the party was extravagant. Say it with me. The party was extravagant. This type of vocabulary is very useful in business, news, and daily conversations. Now let's move on to vocabulary for travel and movement. At a basic level, people say trip or holiday, but at the C1 level, you can use journey, voyage, or expedition. Let's practice. Repeat after me. The journey was long but enjoyable. The explorers went on a dangerous voyage across the ocean. The scientists prepared for an expedition to Antarctica. Excellent! Now imagine traveling by train through beautiful countryside. Instead of saying the trip was long, you can say the journey was long but enjoyable. Repeat it with me. The journey was long but enjoyable. Now imagine sailors crossing the Atlantic Ocean. You could say, the voyage was dangerous but successful. Practice it now. The voyage was dangerous but successful. And when scientists travel to study nature in extreme conditions, you can say, the expedition to Antarctica was successful. Say it with me. The expedition to Antarctica was successful. These words make your descriptions richer and more advanced. Now let's focus on vocabulary for success and failure. At a basic level, learners say win or lose, but at the C1 level, you can say triumph, victory, or defeat. Let's practice these sentences. Repeat after me. The team celebrated their triumph. The company achieved a great victory in the market. The army suffered a defeat in battle. Very good. Now imagine your football team wins a championship. Instead of saying, we won, you can proudly say, it was a triumph for the team. Repeat it with me. It was a triumph for the team. Now picture a company performing better than its competitors. You might say, the company achieved a great victory in sales. Say it now. The company achieved a great victory in sales. And when a group loses, you can say they suffered a defeat. Repeat it with me. They suffered a defeat. These words sound strong, formal, and confident, especially in speeches and academic writing. And finally, let's practice advanced vocabulary for effort and determination. At a basic level, people say try hard, but at the C1 level, you can use strive, endeavor, and pursue. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. We must strive for excellence. She endeavored to finish the project on time. He pursued his dream of becoming a doctor. Excellent. Now imagine yourself working to improve your English every day. Instead of saying, I try hard to improve my English, you can say, I strive to improve my English every day. Say it with me. I strive to improve my English every day. English. Repeat after me. I strive to improve my English. Now imagine someone making a serious effort to finish an important task. You could say, she endeavored to meet the deadline. Say it with me. She endeavored to meet the deadline. And if someone is following their passion and long-term goal, you can say, he pursued his dream of becoming a doctor. Practice it now. He pursued his dream of becoming a doctor. These expressions give your English a formal, advanced, and confident tone. Now let's explore advanced vocabulary for describing relationships. At a basic level, learners often say friend or enemy, but at the C1 level, you can use more specific words like companion, ally, and opponent. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. He was my loyal companion. They became strong allies during the war. Her opponent was difficult to beat. Excellent. Now imagine someone who has supported you throughout your life. Instead of saying, he is my friend, you could say, he has been my companion for many years. Repeat it with me. He has been my companion for many years. Now imagine two countries or teams working closely together. You could say,
They became allies. Say it with me. They became allies. And in a sports competition or debate, you could say, her opponent was very skilled. Repeat after me. Her opponent was very skilled. These words allow you to describe relationships with variety and sophistication. Now let's move on to vocabulary for joy and sadness. At a basic level, people say very happy or very sad, but at the C1 level, you can use elated, ecstatic, and sorrowful. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I felt elated after receiving the news. She was ecstatic when she got the job. He looked sorrowful at the funeral. Very good. Now imagine passing a difficult exam. Instead of saying, I was very happy, you can say, I was elated after passing. Repeat it with me. I was elated after passing. Now imagine winning a big prize. You could say, she was ecstatic when she saw the numbers. Say it with me. She was ecstatic when she saw the numbers. And when someone experiences a loss, you can say, he looked sorrowful at the funeral. Practice it now. He looked sorrowful at the funeral. These words add depth and emotion to your English. Now let's focus on vocabulary for changes in life. At a basic level, learners say a big change, but at the C1 level, you can use transition, shift, and transformation. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Moving abroad was a major transition for her. There has been a shift in public opinion. The city underwent a transformation in recent years. Excellent. Now imagine moving to another country. Instead of saying it was a big change, you can say it was a major transition. Repeat it now. It was a major transition. If people change their opinions, you can say, there has been a shift in opinion. Say it with me. There has been a shift in opinion. And when places change completely over time, you can say, the city underwent a transformation. Repeat it with me. The city underwent a transformation. These expressions are very common in academic and professional English. Now let's explore advanced vocabulary for disagreements. At a basic level, learners say argument or fight, but at the C1 level, you can use dispute, controversy, and debate. Let's practice. Repeat after me. The workers had a dispute with management. The law caused a lot of controversy in the country. They engaged in a long debate about climate change. Excellent. Now imagine a workplace disagreement. Instead of saying they had an argument, you can say they had a dispute. Repeat after me. They had a dispute. Now imagine a new rule that causes public discussion. You can say it caused controversy. Say it with me. It caused controversy. And when people exchange different opinions, you can say they had a debate. Repeat it now. They had a debate. These words are commonly used in news, business, and academic settings. Finally, let's practice advanced vocabulary for progress and development. At a basic level, people say get better or grow, but at the C1 level, you can use enhance, expand, and elevate. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The course helped enhance my English skills. The company expanded its operations to Asia. The teacher's advice elevated my confidence. Very good. Now imagine improving your English step by step. Instead of saying, my English got better, you can say, the lessons enhanced my English skills. Repeat it with me. The lessons enhanced my English skills. Now imagine a business opening new branches. Instead of saying, the company grew, you can say, the company expanded its operations. Practice it now. The company expanded its operations. And when someone's words inspire you, you can say, her encouragement elevated my confidence. Say it with me. Her encouragement elevated my confidence. Elevated my confidence. These advanced words add elegance, clarity, and precision to your English. Now let's move on to vocabulary for describing anger in more subtle and advanced ways. At a basic level, we often say angry, but at the C1 level, you can use words like irritated, resentful, and infuriated, depending on how strong the feeling is. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I was irritated by the constant noise. He felt resentful after being ignored. She was infuriated by the unfair treatment. Excellent. Now imagine your neighbor is playing loud music late at night. Instead of saying, I was angry, you can say, I was irritated by the noise. Repeat it with me. I was irritated by the noise. Now imagine someone being treated unfairly for a long time. You could say, he felt resentful. Practice it now. He felt resentful. And if something makes someone extremely angry, you can say, she was infuriated by the situation. Say it with me. She was infuriated by the situation. These words help you show different levels of anger, which is an important advanced speaking skill. Now, let's explore vocabulary for calmness and peace. At a basic level, learners say relaxed, but at C1, you can use tranquil, serene, and peaceful. Let's practice. Repeat after me. The garden was tranquil in the morning light. Her face looked serene after meditation. The countryside is very peaceful at night. Very good. Now imagine walking beside a lake early in the morning with no sound. Instead of saying it was calm, you can say the lake was tranquil. Repeat after me. The lake was tranquil. Now imagine someone smiling softly, free from stress. You could say, she looked serene after yoga. Say it with me. She looked serene after yoga. And when describing quiet village life, you might say, it is peaceful in the countryside at night. Practice it now. It is peaceful in the countryside at night. These words help you create atmosphere and emotion in your descriptions. Next, let's focus vocabulary for results and outcomes. At a basic level, people say result or effect, but at the C1 level, you can use consequence, impact, and aftermath. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Every action has a consequence. The speech had a strong impact on the audience. The aftermath of the storm was devastating. Excellent. Now imagine warning someone about a dangerous action. Instead of saying it will have a result, you can say it will have serious consequences. Repeat it with me. It will have serious consequences. Now imagine listening to a powerful speech. Instead of saying the talk had an effect, you can say the talk had a strong impact. Say it now. The talk had a strong impact. And when describing what happens after a disaster, you can say the aftermath of the storm was shocking. Repeat after me. The aftermath of the storm was shocking. These words make your English sound academic, mature, and descriptive. Now, let's strengthen your vocabulary for responsibility and duty. At a basic level, learners say job or task, but at the C1 level, you can use obligation, duty, and responsibility. Let's practice. Repeat after me. It is our obligation to help those in need. Parents have a duty to care for their children. He took full responsibility for the mistake. Excellent. Now imagine someone asking why you help others. Instead of saying, it's my job, you can say, it's my obligation to help. Repeat it now. It's my obligation to help. Now imagine parents raising children. You could say, parents have a duty to provide love and support. Practice that. Parents have a duty to provide love and support. And if a manager admits a mistake, instead of saying, it was my fault, they can say, I take full responsibility. Say it with me. I take full responsibility. These expressions make your English sound professional and confident. Finally, let's practice vocabulary for achievements and goals.
At a basic level, people say goal or dream, but at the C1 level, you can use objective, ambition, and milestone. Repeat after me. Her objective is to become a lawyer. His ambition drives him to work hard. Graduating from university was a major milestone. Very good. Now imagine talking about your English learning. Instead of saying, my goal is to learn English, you can say,
My objective is to reach C1 level in English. Repeat it with me. My objective is to reach C1 level in English. Now imagine someone with big dreams. You might say, his ambition is to travel the world. Say it now. His ambition is to travel the world. And when describing an important achievement, you can say, graduation was a major milestone in my life. Repeat after me. Graduation was a major milestone in my life. Repeat after me. Graduating was a milestone in my life. Excellent! These words add depth and maturity when you talk about progress and achievements. Now let's explore vocabulary for describing mistakes. At a basic level, people often say mistake or error, but at the C1 level, you can use more specific words like blunder, oversight, and misjudgment. Let's practice them in sentences. Led to a poor decision. Very good. Now imagine someone says something very wrong in public. Instead of saying he made a mistake, you can say he made a blunder. Repeat it now. He made a blunder. Next, imagine forgetting to reply to an important email. You might say, it was an oversight. Say it with me. It was an oversight. And if a friend judges someone's character incorrectly, you can say, it was a misjudgment. Repeat after me. It was a misjudgment. Using these words gives your English more variety and strength. Now let's look at advanced vocabulary for intensity and degree. At a basic level, we say very big or very small, but at the C1 level, you can use immense, tiny, or minuscule. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. The mountain was immense. The insect was tiny. The difference between the two results was minuscule. Excellent! Now imagine hiking and seeing a huge mountain. Instead of saying it was very big, you can say the mountain was immense. Repeat it with me. The mountain was immense. Now picture a child holding a very small toy. You might say, the toy was tiny in his hand. Say it now. The toy was tiny in his hand. And when two exam scores are almost the same, you can say the difference was minuscule. Repeat after me. The difference was minuscule. These words show precision and control in your speech. Now let's practice vocabulary for truth and honesty. At a basic level, learners say true or honest, but at the C1 level, you can use genuine, authentic, and sincere. Repeat after me. She gave me a genuine smile. The painting is authentic and valuable. He offered a sincere apology. Very good. Now imagine meeting someone warm and kind. Instead of saying she is nice, you can say she gave me a genuine smile. Repeat it now. She gave me a genuine smile. Now imagine seeing real artwork in a museum. You could say the painting is authentic. Practice it. The painting is authentic. And if a friend truly feels sorry, you can say he offered a sincere apology. Repeat after me. He offered a sincere apology. These words help you speak with refinement and accuracy. Now let's strengthen your vocabulary for changes in mood and behavior. At a basic level, people say happy, sad, or angry, but at the C1 level, you can use moody, irritable, and temperamental. Let's practice them in sentences. Repeat after me. He was moody after the argument. She became irritable during the long meeting. The artist was temperamental but very talented. Excellent. Now imagine a friend whose emotions change often. Instead of saying he is sometimes happy and sometimes angry, you can say he is moody. Repeat it with me. He is moody. Now imagine someone who becomes annoyed very easily. You might say she was irritable after the long meeting. Say it now. She was irritable after the long meeting. And when describing a creative but unpredictable person, you can say he is temperamental. Repeat after me. He is temperamental.
These words help you describe people in a natural, advanced way. Now let's practice vocabulary for uncertainty and doubt. At a basic level, people say maybe or not sure, but at the C1 level, you can use uncertain, doubtful, and ambiguous. Repeat after me. I'm uncertain about the decision. It's doubtful that they will arrive on time. The meaning of the text was ambiguous. Very good. Now imagine deciding whether to accept a new job. Instead of saying, I'm not sure, you can say, I'm uncertain about this decision. Repeat it now. I'm uncertain about this decision. Now imagine heavy traffic. You could say, it's doubtful they will arrive on time. Say it with me. It's doubtful they will arrive on time. And when a text is unclear, you might say the meaning was ambiguous. Practice it now. The meaning was ambiguous. These words allow you to express subtle shades of doubt in a sophisticated way. Now let's continue with vocabulary for admiration and praise. Now let's practice vocabulary for admiration and praise. At a basic level, people often say good or great, but at the C1 level, you can use stronger and more precise words like commendable, remarkable, and outstanding. Let's try them in sentences. Repeat after me. Her efforts were commendable. The achievement was remarkable. He gave an outstanding performance. Excellent. Now imagine a student who works very hard and helps others. Instead of saying she is good, you can say her efforts are commendable. Repeat it now. Her efforts are commendable. Now imagine an achievement that truly surprises you. You could say the achievement was remarkable. Say it with me. The achievement was remarkable. And when someone does something extremely well, you can say the performance was outstanding. Repeat after me. The performance was outstanding. These words help you give praise with more power and variety. Next, let's learn advanced vocabulary for danger and risk. At a basic level, learners say dangerous or risky, but at the C1 level, you can use hazardous, perilous, and threatening. Repeat after me. The chemicals are hazardous to health. They went on a perilous journey across the desert. Dark clouds looked threatening before the storm. Very good. Now imagine working in a science laboratory. Instead of saying the chemicals are dangerous, you can say the chemicals are hazardous. Repeat it now. The chemicals are hazardous. Now picture explorers traveling across a desert full of danger. You might say it was a perilous journey. Say it with me. It was a perilous journey. And when the sky turns dark before heavy rain, you can say the clouds looked threatening. Repeat after me. The clouds looked threatening. These words are especially useful in academic writing, news reports, and storytelling. Now let's practice vocabulary for hope and expectation. At a basic level, we say hope or expect, but at the C1 level, you can use anticipate, aspire, and yearn. Repeat after me. We anticipate a positive outcome. She aspires to become a doctor. He yearned for freedom. Excellent. Now imagine waiting for your exam results. Instead of saying, I expect good results, you can say, I anticipate good results. Repeat it with me. I anticipate good results. Now picture a student dreaming about a future career. You can say, she aspires to become a doctor. Say it now. She aspires to become a doctor. And when someone deeply desires something from the heart, you can say, he yearned for freedom. Repeat after me. He yearned for freedom. These words carry emotion and elegance, making your English sound advanced and confident. Next, let's practice vocabulary for decisions and judgment. At a basic level, people say good decision or bad decision, but at the C1 level, you can use wise, prudent, and reckless. Repeat after me. It was a wise choice to save money early. She made a prudent investment. He took a reckless risk.
Excellent. Now imagine someone choosing to study every day. Instead of saying that was a good decision, you can say that was a wise choice. Repeat after me. That was a wise choice. Now imagine someone carefully investing money. You might say she made a prudent investment. Say it with me. She made a prudent investment. And imagine someone driving too fast. Instead of saying that was a bad decision, you can say he took a reckless risk. Repeat after me. He took a reckless risk. These words make your English more precise and mature. Now let's learn advanced vocabulary for appearance. At a basic level, learners say beautiful or ugly, but at the C1 level, you can use elegant, graceful, and unattractive. Repeat after me. She looked elegant in her dress. The dancer was graceful on stage. The building was unattractive compared to the others. Excellent. Now imagine someone dressed for a wedding. Instead of saying she looked beautiful, you can say she looked elegant in her dress. Repeat it with me. She looked elegant in her dress. Now picture a ballerina performing. You can say the dancer was graceful. Say it now. The dancer was graceful. And if you see an old building that does not look nice, you can say the building was unattractive. Repeat after me. The building was unattractive. These words help you express opinions clearly and naturally. Finally, let's practice vocabulary for honesty and dishonesty. At a basic level, people say honest or dishonest, but at the C1 level, you can use trustworthy, deceitful, and fraudulent. Repeat after me. He is a trustworthy person. The salesman was deceitful. The company was involved in fraudulent activity. She is a trustworthy friend. He was deceitful about his actions. The company was punished for fraudulent activity. Excellent. Now imagine a friend who always keeps her promises. Instead of saying she is honest, you can say she is trustworthy. Repeat after me. She is trustworthy. Now picture a person who lies for personal benefit. Instead of saying he was dishonest, you can say he was deceitful. Say it now. He was deceitful. And in business situations, when a company cheats customers, you can say the company committed fraudulent activity. Repeat it with me. The company committed fraudulent activity. These words are especially important in professional and academic English. Now let's move to advanced vocabulary for describing intelligence and poor judgment. At a basic level, people say smart or stupid, but at the C1 level, you can use intelligent, brilliant, foolish, or absurd. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. She is an intelligent student. The idea was brilliant and creative. It was foolish to ignore the warning. The excuse was absurd. Excellent. Now imagine a student who answers questions quickly and clearly. Instead of saying she is smart, you can say she is intelligent. Repeat it with me. She is intelligent. Now picture someone giving a creative solution to a problem. You might say his idea was brilliant. Say it now. His idea was brilliant. And if someone ignores obvious danger, you can say, it was foolish to ignore the warning. Repeat after me. It was foolish to ignore the warning. Finally, if someone gives an excuse that makes no sense, you can say, that excuse was absurd. Practice it. That excuse was absurd. These words help you express both admiration and criticism clearly. Now let's practice advanced vocabulary for time and frequency. At a basic level, we say always or sometimes, but at the C1, you can use constantly, occasionally, or rarely. Repeat after me. She constantly checks her phone. We occasionally go hiking. He rarely eats fast food. Very good. Now imagine someone who uses their phone all the time. Instead of saying she always checks her phone, you can say she constantly checks her phone. Repeat with me. She constantly checks her phone. Now picture going hiking once in a while. Instead of saying we sometimes go hiking, you can say we occasionally go hiking. Say it now. We occasionally go hiking. And if someone almost never eats junk food, you can say, he rarely eats fast food. Repeat after me. He rarely eats fast food. These small words make your English sound natural and precise. Now let's focus on advanced vocabulary for movement and action. At a basic level, people say walk or run. But at C1, you can use stride, march, or crawl. Repeat after me. He strode confidently into the room. The soldiers marched across the field. The baby crawled on the floor. Excellent. Now imagine someone entering a meeting with confidence. Instead of saying he walked in, you can say he strode confidently into the room. Repeat it now. He strode confidently into the room. Now, picture soldiers moving together in rhythm. Instead of saying they walked, you can say the soldiers marched. Say it with me. The soldiers marched. And if you describe a baby moving slowly on hands and knees, you can say the baby crawled across the floor. Repeat after me. The baby crawled across the floor. These words help you create clear pictures in the listener's mind. Now let's practice vocabulary for strength and weakness. At a basic level, we say strong or weak, but at C1, you can use sturdy, robust, or fragile. Repeat after me. The table is sturdy and reliable. She has a robust immune system. The glass was fragile and broke easily. Excellent. Now imagine buying high-quality furniture. Instead of saying the table is strong, you can say the table is sturdy. Repeat it now. The table is sturdy. Now picture a healthy person who rarely gets sick. You might say she has a robust immune system. Say it with me. She has a robust immune system. And when holding something delicate, you can say, the glass was fragile. Repeat after me. The glass was fragile. These words are common in both everyday and academic English. Finally, let's practice advanced vocabulary for communication. At a basic level, people say talk or speak, but at C1, you can say articulate, express, or convey. Repeat after me. She articulated her opinion clearly. He expressed his feelings honestly. The teacher conveyed the message effectively. Instead of saying she spoke clearly, you can say she articulated her opinion clearly. Repeat it now. She articulated her opinion clearly. Now picture someone sharing their emotions honestly. You might say, he expressed his feelings openly. Say it with me. He expressed his feelings openly. And if a teacher explains an idea very well, you can say, the teacher conveyed the message effectively. Repeat after me. The teacher conveyed the message effectively. These words are very useful in professional and academic English. Now let's explore advanced vocabulary for improvement and decline. At a basic level, people say get better or get worse. But at the C1 level, you can use recover, deteriorate, or decline. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. She recovered quickly after the illness. The building deteriorated over time. Sales declined last year. Excellent. Now imagine someone becoming healthy again. Instead of saying she got better, you can say she recovered quickly. Repeat it now. She recovered quickly. Now picture an old building slowly falling apart. Instead of saying it got worse, you can say the building deteriorated. Say it with me. The building deteriorated. And when numbers go down, such as profits or sales, you can say sales declined last year. Repeat after me. Sales declined last year. These words make your English sound professional and precise. Now let's practice vocabulary for fear and courage. At a basic level, people say brave or afraid, but at C1, you can use courageous, fearless, or cowardly. Repeat after me. She was courageous in facing difficulties. He was fearless in battle. They called him cowardly for avoiding the challenge. Very good. Now imagine someone standing up for their beliefs. Instead of saying she is brave, you can say she is courageous. Repeat it now. She is courageous. Now picture someone taking a big risk without fear. You can say he was fearless. Say it with me. He was fearless. And if someone avoids responsibility because of fear, you can say he was cowardly. Repeat after me. He was cowardly. These words make your speech more expressive and powerful. Now let's move to advanced vocabulary for success and progress in life. At a basic level, people say improve or do well. But at C1, you can use prosper, excel, or thrive. Repeat after me. The small business began to prosper after many challenges. She excelled in her exams this year. Children thrive when they feel supported and loved. Excellent. Now imagine a business that starts earning more after years of struggle. Instead of saying the business did well, you can say the business began to prosper. Repeat it now. The business began to prosper. Now picture a student getting very high marks. Instead of saying she did very well, you can say she excelled in her exams. Say it with me. She excelled in her exams. And when children grow up in a positive environment, you can say children thrive in supportive families. Repeat after me. Children thrive in supportive families. These words help you sound advanced and confident. Now let's look at vocabulary for solving conflicts. At a basic level, people say fix or solve, but at C1, you can use resolve, settle, or mediate. Repeat after me. We need to resolve the issue quickly. The two sides settled their differences. She helped mediate between the groups. Very good. Now imagine two coworkers arguing. Instead of saying they fixed the problem, you can say they resolved their conflict. Repeat it now. They resolved their conflict. Now picture a legal case coming to an end. You can say the case was settled in court. Say it with me. The case was settled in court. And if a teacher helps students stop fighting, you can say the teacher mediated between them.
Repeat after me. The teacher mediated between them. These words are very useful in workplace and academic situations. Finally, let's practice advanced vocabulary for effort and persistence. At a basic level, people say try hard or keep going, but at C1, you can use endure, persist, or persevere. Repeat after me. She endured the pain with courage. He persisted despite the obstacles. They persevered until they achieved success. Excellent. Now imagine running a long marathon. Instead of saying she kept going, you can say she endured the pain with courage. Repeat it now. She endured the pain with courage. She endured the pain with courage. Now imagine a student who continues studying even after failing once. Instead of saying he didn't give up, you can say he persisted despite the obstacles. Repeat it with me. He persisted despite the obstacles. And if someone works for many years to reach their dreams, you can say they persevered until they succeeded. Repeat after me. They persevered until they succeeded. These words have a strong emotional meaning and show advanced English fluency. Now let's move on to another important group of advanced vocabulary, opportunity and possibility. At a basic level, people say chance or opportunity, but at the C1 level, you can use words like prospect, occasion, and potential. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. The job offered exciting prospects for the future. It was a rare occasion to meet the author. She has the potential to become a great leader. Excellent. Now imagine you are applying for a new job. Instead of saying it's a good opportunity, you can say it's an exciting prospect. Repeat it now. It's an exciting prospect. Now, picture meeting a famous writer only once in your life. You could say, it was a rare occasion to meet her. Say it with me. It was a rare occasion to meet her. And when talking about a talented student, you might say, she has great potential. Repeat after me. She has great potential. These advanced words are very powerful when talking about the future, growth, and possibilities. And now, my friends, we have come to the end of our C1 Advanced Vocabulary Masterclass. Throughout this lesson, you have practiced many powerful words and expressions that help you speak English with clarity, precision, and confidence. We explored vocabulary for emotions, daily life, work, business, and academic situations. You repeated the words with me, imagined real-life situations, and practiced sentences that you can start using immediately in your own conversations. Always remember this: vocabulary grows when you use it, not just when you hear it. So choose a few words you learned today and try to use them when you speak, when you write, or even when you talk to yourself in English. Little by little, these advanced words will stop feeling new and will become a natural part of how you think and speak. Thank you so much for joining me in this long and powerful lesson. I'm Shafi, and I truly hope you enjoyed this journey towards C1 level English vocabulary. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so you never miss our future lessons. Leave a comment below and tell me your favorite new word from today's class. And please share this lesson with a friend who also wants to improve their English. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and keep moving closer to fluency every single day. Until next time, take care and goodbye.